It's a photo that's been around the world and back again twice. Chances are you've seen it, either on the internet, the pages of a magazine, or even on someone's wall. You know, next to the Live, Laugh, Love arrangement. But dig a little deeper, and this photo tells a story that spans the entire Second World War. Let's set the scene. It was the 14th of August 1945, and by most experts' reckoning, around 5 p.m. Oh yeah, and we're in Times Square, New York. It's what would become known as VJ Day, or Victory over Japan Day.
At 08:15 on August 6, over military target Hiroshima, Bombardier Major Farabee took over. He was about to drop the atom bomb.
Just days earlier, the United States had dropped 2 devastating atomic bombs on Japan. At Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It was the first time such weapons had been used in war. What followed was unconditional surrender from Imperial Japan. Back on American soil, this was of course cause for celebration. Before the official announcement from President Truman had even been made, celebrations were already starting to take hold. Thousands of sailors, soldiers, airmen and civilians lined the streets of New York, and a carnival atmosphere ensued. Also navigating the New York boulevards that day was photographer Alfred Eisenstaedt. Born in Imperial Germany to Jewish parents, Alfred had fled the Nazi regime with his family in 1935 and settled in New York. Already an established photographer at the time, Alfred would soon form part of the original team of 4 photographers working for Life magazine at its launch in 1936. He was on assignment for the magazine as he took in the New York scenes that day. By his own account, spirits were high and many of the revelers had been drinking. Alfred recounts seeing a young sailor making his way down the street, grabbing any and every girl in sight. Whether she was a grandmother, stout, thin, old, it didn't make a difference. I was running ahead of him with my Leica, looking back over my shoulder, but none of the pictures that were possible pleased me. Then suddenly, in a flash, I saw something white being grabbed. I turned around and clicked the moment the sailor kissed the nurse. That very click would bring into existence a photograph that would suspend its 2 subjects in time forever. One, a dental nurse on her lunch break. The other, a sailor, elated he would not have to return to the Pacific. The image would spread like wildfire and became an iconic emblem of the Allies' military triumph. The part a lot of people don't know is that the couple in the photograph weren't really a couple at all. In fact, they didn't even know each other, and one party had little choice in the matter. Perhaps the most fascinating story behind this image, however, is how the photographer came to be there. Let's go back to a League of Nations meeting in Geneva, Switzerland in 1933. Once again, Alfred Eisenstaedt is the man behind the camera. In frame this time is Joseph Goebbels, a close friend of Adolf Hitler and the driving force behind the Nazi regime's propaganda machine. Alfred referred to the photograph as "from Goebbels with love." And although it's impossible to say what was going through his subject's mind as the photo was taken, Alfred's own interpretation is that Goebbels may have suspected his photographer's Jewish heritage. When I went up to him in the garden of the hotel, he looked at me with hateful eyes and waited for me to wither. But I didn't wither. In that light, this look would serve as a chilling prelude for what was to come, and shows how deep-rooted the Nazis' hatred was, even 6 years before the start of the war. What Goebbels would never have imagined is that the man stood in front of him holding a camera would go on, despite adversity and hate, to take an image that would become synonymous with victory. An Allied victory over Japan, that is, as Goebbels' own Third Reich lay in ruins. What happened between these two moments in time is a story of evil, hate, and persecution, and the eventual victory that overcame it. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has definitely been my personal favourite episode of Negatives to work on so far, and there's so many other stories attached to this photograph that we figured that we better do another episode to dig even deeper, so keep an eye out for that and get subscribed.